Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed guests, and beautiful souls listening to me today, it's an honor to be here, and as I stand before you, I want to share something that has always guided me in my journey. Something simple, yet so incredibly powerful, a mantra that has shaped not only my career, but my life philosophy *, never complain, never explain *, 1. Embrace the power of silence, *, let's start with the first key. Never complain. Life, as we all know, will throw challenges at us big or small, and we all feel the urge to vent, to explain our side of the story, but there's power in silence. In choosing not to complain, you save your energy, focus, and power for what truly matters. Every time you complain, you lose your chance to build the future you deserve. Complaining is a noise that drowns out the sound of your own dreams. *, 2. Own your journey, *, the second key *, never explain. You don't owe anyone an explanation for the decisions you make, the path you choose, or the success you claim. The only explanation you need is to yourself. In a world where people love to project their opinions onto you, remember that your journey is your own. When you start explaining, you give people the power to challenge your choices. But when you stand tall and own your decisions, your conviction is what speaks the loudest. *, 3. The strength to move forward. *, complaining holds you back. It ties you to a situation, to a feeling. It's easy to get caught up in the why me. But the truth is, we're all just passing through. The challenges, they are temporary. The strength to move forward, it's eternal. When you stop complaining and start acting, you're not just moving on, you're evolving. And every time you evolve, you become stronger, more resilient, and more powerful. *, 4. Inspire with your actions, not your words. *, finally, never forget that your actions speak volumes. I truly believe that success is not just about what you achieve, but how you carry yourself through the ups and downs of life. It's about showing up as your most authentic self, doing what feels right, and letting your achievements do the talking. The less you explain, the more others will start to admire and respect the way you live in your truth, with no need for validation. In conclusion, remember this: the world will always have something to say. They'll offer advice, they'll offer judgment, and they'll always try to shape your story. But it is you who holds the pen to your narrative. So choose silence over complaints and strength over explanations. Let your actions define you, and let your silence be your loudest statement. Thank you. Silence is a powerful force, often underestimated in the noise and chaos of daily life. In a world where everyone has an opinion and a platform to voice it, silence can feel like a luxury, a rare commodity. But the truth is, silence is one of the most profound tools we have at our disposal. When we embrace it, we not only find peace, but we also unlock a power that can guide us toward clarity, purpose, and success. Silence is not simply the absence of sound. It is a conscious choice to withhold our words and, in doing so, create space for deeper reflection and understanding. How often do we find ourselves caught up in the need to explain ourselves, to justify our actions or decisions? We feel an overwhelming urge to share our side of the story, to make sure others understand where we're coming from. But when we constantly explain, when we talk over every decision or emotion, we lose the opportunity to reflect on the situation for ourselves. When we embrace silence, we are allowing ourselves the time to process and truly understand our thoughts and emotions. In a society that often rewards extroversion and loud voices, we have been taught that the more we speak, the more influence we have. But in reality, it's not the volume of our voice that defines us. It's the strength and conviction behind our silence. Think about it. How many times have you been in a conversation where someone is speaking just to be heard, not necessarily because they have something important to say? Words can often be empty when they aren't backed by meaning, and we've all witnessed how the constant chatter of complaints or explanations can create noise without adding any value. In these moments, silence becomes not only golden, but also a form of strength. Silence allows us to step back and regain control. It gives us the opportunity to listen, not just to others but to ourselves. It allows us to hear our own thoughts, to examine our reactions without immediately responding out of emotion. When we stop complaining, we give ourselves permission to take a step back and consider what's really going on. We stop the cycle of negativity and begin to seek solutions, clarity, and understanding. The ability to remain silent in the face of criticism, adversity, or frustration is a form of emotional maturity. It takes great strength to hold back and resist the urge to respond to every comment, every judgment, or every challenge. Silence doesn't mean weakness or a lack of opinion. It means that we are in control of our responses, that we are choosing not to engage in a battle that won't serve us. When we choose silence, we are giving ourselves space to breathe and to decide how best to move forward. In the midst of life's challenges, it's easy to get caught up in the noise of negativity. Complaints can feel like a release, a way to express our frustrations and gain validation. But complaining only traps us in a loop of dissatisfaction and negativity. It pulls us further away from finding solutions and pushes us deeper into a state of helplessness. When we choose silence, we break free from this loop. We stop giving energy to the things that drain us and instead focus our energy on finding peace and resolution. In moments of difficulty, silence becomes an act of self-respect. When we stop complaining and start reflecting, we are demonstrating that we value our own well-being. We understand that we cannot change everything around us, but we can control how we respond to it. We choose to protect our energy, to focus on what's important, and to rise above the noise that seeks to pull us down. Moreover, silence can be incredibly powerful in the context of relationships. How many times have we gotten caught up in the need to defend ourselves or prove a point in a conversation? The desire to explain ourselves, to make sure we are understood, can sometimes make us lose sight of the bigger picture. In many situations, our words can escalate conflict rather than resolve it. By embracing silence, we allow the other person to speak their truth without interruption, creating space for understanding. We allow ourselves the opportunity to listen deeply, to gain perspective, and to approach the situation with a calm, open heart. The strength of silence is in its ability to diffuse tension and to create a sense of inner peace. When we stop reacting impulsively to every challenge or criticism, we build emotional resilience. We become less triggered by external forces and more centered in our own truth. Silence allows us to connect with that truth and to align our actions with our values rather than reacting based on fear, frustration, or insecurity. It's also important to remember that silence doesn't mean isolation or withdrawal. It's not about shutting ourselves off from the world. It's about choosing to engage with intention. In a world filled with noise, silence helps us discern what is worth engaging with and what is better left unsaid. It gives us the clarity to focus on what truly matters, to prioritize our goals, and to let go of distractions. When we embrace silence, we create the space to reflect, to listen, and to act with purpose. We stop giving our energy away to things that don't deserve it and start directing our focus toward what we can control. We free ourselves from the need to explain every decision or justify every action, and instead we trust in our own wisdom and judgment. In conclusion, silence is not just an absence of sound. It is a powerful tool for personal growth, self-reflection, and emotional maturity. By embracing silence, we can break free from the noise that surrounds us, gain clarity, and find the strength to move forward with intention and purpose. It is in the quiet moments that we often discover our true power and unlock the potential within us. So, next time you find yourself tempted to complain or explain, remember the power of silence. It may be the most powerful response you can give. Owning your journey is one of the most empowering choices you can make in your life. It means taking full responsibility for your decisions, your growth, and your path, no matter how unconventional, difficult, or unexpected it may seem. It's the realization that the narrative of your life belongs entirely to you, and while others may offer their opinions, it is you who ultimately determines the direction you take. This is not just about achieving success in the traditional sense, but embracing all the highs and lows, the twists and turns, the wins and losses. It is a commitment to living authentically without the need for external validation or approval. When we talk about owning your journey, it means recognizing that life is a series of moments, each contributing to your growth, and that every experience you go through is valuable, even if it doesn't seem like it at the time. We often get caught up in comparing ourselves to others, measuring our progress against what society deems as success. But the truth is, there is no one-size-fits-all definition of success. Your journey is uniquely yours, shaped by your values, your dreams, and your circumstances. The moment you realize this, you take the reins of your life into your own hands. You stop being a passenger and become the driver of your destiny. The act of owning your journey involves embracing the idea that the setbacks, the failures, the challenges you face are not obstacles, but stepping stones. It's all too easy to look at a difficult period in your life and view it as a sign that you're off course or not meant to achieve your goals. But when you own your journey, you see these challenges as part of the natural flow of life. They are there to teach you something, to make you stronger, and to push you toward greater self-awareness. The most successful people in the world have not gotten to where they are by avoiding failure. They have owned their mistakes, learned from them, and used those lessons to propel themselves forward. One of the key aspects of owning your journey is not waiting for permission from others. In a world that constantly seeks external validation, it can be tempting to look to others for approval before taking the next step. Whether it's a career decision, a personal goal, or a major life change, we often hesitate because we fear what others will think or say. But when you own your journey, you stop waiting for permission. You trust your own instincts, your own judgment, and your own desires. You become the authority in your own life. This is not to say that feedback from others isn't valuable, but at the end of the day, you are the one who has to live with the decisions you make. So, make those decisions from a place of confidence and trust in yourself. Owning your journey also means embracing the unknown with an open heart and mind. Life doesn't come with a clear roadmap, and no matter how much we plan, things rarely go exactly as we envision. But when we take ownership of our journey, we develop the courage to navigate through uncertainty. We stop trying to control every outcome and instead become comfortable with the process of discovery. It's in the unknown where we truly grow, where we expand beyond the limitations of our current selves. The journey is rarely linear. It's filled with unexpected detours, and sometimes it's these detours that lead us to the most meaningful experiences. When you own your journey, you also become deeply connected to your purpose. We often get distracted by the noise of external pressures, what society expects of us, what our peers are doing, or what we feel we should be striving for. But when you embrace your own path, you tune out the distractions and listen to your own inner compass. Purpose is not something that can be dictated by others. It's something you find within yourself, and it's not a fixed destination. It's an evolving process. Your purpose will change and grow with you, and owning your journey means embracing that fluidity. It means allowing yourself to be guided by your deepest values and passions, not by what others expect from you or what seems like the right choice according to societal norms. Another important aspect of owning your journey is understanding that you are not defined by your past. So many of us get stuck in the stories we tell ourselves about who we are based on past failures or mistakes. These stories, however, do not define our potential or our future. Owning your journey means letting go of those limiting beliefs and realizing that you have the power to create a new narrative for yourself. It means understanding that you are constantly evolving and that your past does not have to dictate your future. You are free to rewrite your story, to change direction, and to create the life you desire. In owning your journey, you also learn the importance of resilience and persistence. It's easy to stay committed when things are going well, but true strength is built when things get tough. When you encounter obstacles, owning your journey means not giving up, but instead finding new ways to adapt and move forward. It means persevering through adversity with grace and determination. Resilience is the key to long-term success because it's not about how many times you fall, but how many times you get back up. And every time you do, you become stronger and more confident in your ability to navigate through whatever challenges come your way. Finally, owning your journey means practicing self-compassion. Too often, we are our own harshest critics, focusing on what we haven't accomplished or the mistakes we've made. But when you own your journey, you become kinder to yourself. You understand that growth is a process and that it's okay to make mistakes along the way. You stop judging yourself for not having everything figured out and instead embrace the beauty of learning as you go. You recognize that each step you take, no matter how small, is part of your unique journey, and that is something to be celebrated. In the end, owning your journey is about taking full responsibility for your life, your choices, and your growth. It's about living in alignment with your values and purpose, trusting yourself, and embracing the uncertainty of life with courage. It's about finding power in your own story, no matter how unconventional or difficult it may seem. When you own your journey, you stop letting the opinions of others dictate your worth, and you begin to live authentically, unapologetically, and with purpose. It is the ultimate act of self-love, and it is the key to living a life that feels truly yours. The strength to move forward is one of the most transformative qualities a person can cultivate in their life. Life is a series of experiences that are often unpredictable, challenging, and sometimes overwhelmingly difficult. In these moments, it's easy to get stuck, paralyzed by fear, doubt, or uncertainty. The weight of past mistakes, disappointments, or even future uncertainties can make it feel impossible to take the next step. But moving forward, even when it seems daunting, is essential for personal growth, healing, and eventual success. The strength to move forward isn't just about persevering in the face of adversity. It's about finding the courage and resilience to evolve and to keep going, even when the road ahead is unclear. At the core of moving forward lies the ability to accept where you are. Too often, we spend so much time lamenting the past or worrying about the future that we fail to fully acknowledge the present moment. When we do this, we unintentionally paralyze ourselves as we're not fully accepting or understanding the situation in front of us. Moving forward doesn't mean ignoring or bypassing challenges. It means confronting them head on. It's about being honest with yourself and recognizing where you are right now, accepting the current state of affairs, and then making the decision to continue on your journey despite the difficulties. Acceptance is not about giving up or resigning yourself to your circumstances, but rather about releasing the struggle against them. When you stop fighting the present moment, you free yourself to take the next step forward. It's like trying to run while carrying an enormous weight on your back. The first step to moving forward is releasing the weight. Once you let go of the need to control everything, to constantly fight against challenges, you create space for healing, growth, and ultimately, progress. The strength to move forward also involves cultivating resilience. Resilience is the ability to bounce back after setbacks, to continue fighting even when it seems like the odds are stacked against you. It's about refusing to let failure define you. Life is full of disappointments, obstacles, and moments of pain, and while it's natural to feel defeated during these times, resilience is what allows you to rise again. The most successful people in the world aren't the ones who have never faced hardship, but those who have faced hardship head-on and found the strength to continue. They've learned to view challenges as opportunities for growth rather than insurmountable barriers. In times of struggle, resilience comes from within. It's the quiet voice that tells you, you can do this. You are stronger than you think. Resilience isn't just about bouncing back from big events or catastrophes. It's also about learning to cope with smaller daily setbacks. It's about managing the inevitable ups and downs with grace and determination. When you choose to be resilient, you stop seeing failure as a reflection of your worth. Instead, you see it as a necessary part of the journey, an inevitable part of life that is meant to teach you something valuable. The ability to bounce back from failure is not about being unaffected by it. It's about growing stronger with each experience. Building this inner strength also involves practicing self-compassion. So many of us are our own harshest critics, especially when we're facing difficult times. We internalize feelings of inadequacy or guilt and beat ourselves up for not being stronger or for making mistakes. But the truth is, everyone struggles. Everyone faces setbacks. Being kind to yourself during tough times is one of the most important steps toward moving forward. When you treat yourself with love and compassion, you're better equipped to pick yourself up and keep going. You begin to realize that mistakes are not an indictment of your character, but a sign that you are willing to take risks and learn. In addition to self-compassion, the strength to move forward requires a sense of purpose. When we are clear about our why we do what we do, why we get up every morning, it becomes easier to navigate through difficulties. Purpose acts as a compass, guiding you through the toughest times. It gives you the energy and motivation to keep going, even when you feel like quitting. Whether it's a personal goal, a passion, a dream, or a commitment to something greater than yourself, your purpose becomes the driving force that helps you push through adversity. It's the internal fire that keeps you moving forward when everything else feels heavy. At times, moving forward can also require taking a step back. It's about finding moments of stillness, reflecting on where you've been, where you are, and where you want to go. Often we're so focused on rushing forward, on trying to keep up with others or our own expectations, that we forget the value of pausing and reflecting. Stepping back doesn't mean giving up or retreating. It means giving yourself the space to recharge, to regain your clarity, and to move with intention. Sometimes we need to slow down to speed up. Moving forward with intention is far more effective than pushing forward mindlessly. Another crucial aspect of the strength to move forward is surrounding yourself with support. Moving forward doesn't have to be a solitary journey. While the strength must come from within, the support of others can make a significant difference. This could be the encouragement of friends and family, the guidance of a mentor, or the understanding of a community that shares your values or struggles. When you're surrounded by people who believe in you, who lift you up, it becomes easier to move forward in times of uncertainty. Never underestimate the power of having a support system. We don't have to face challenges alone, and in fact, it's often through our relationships with others that we find the strength to keep going. Finally, moving forward requires trust. Trust in yourself, in your ability to handle whatever comes your way. Trust that the pain and difficulty you're experiencing are not permanent. Trust that you will find a way to navigate through them and emerge stronger on the other side. Moving forward means not allowing doubt and fear to hold you back. It means believing in the possibility of better things ahead, even when you can't see them yet. Trust is a leap of faith that gives you the courage to continue even when the path is unclear. In conclusion, the strength to move forward is not something that happens overnight. It's built through a combination of self-acceptance, resilience, self-compassion, purpose, support, and trust. It's about embracing both the light and dark moments of life, understanding that they are part of a larger journey. Moving forward doesn't mean ignoring the pain or pretending the difficulties don't exist. It means acknowledging them, learning from them, and using them to propel you toward growth. The strength to move forward is what allows you to continue to evolve and to ultimately live a life that is rich in meaning, purpose, and fulfillment. In a world where words are often used to persuade, influence, and convey messages, it's easy to forget that actions are far more powerful than anything we can say. We live in a time when talk is cheap and opinions are abundant, but what truly leaves a lasting impact are the actions we take. Our actions, when aligned with our values, beliefs, and intentions, speak louder and more authentically than any carefully crafted speech or persuasive argument. When we focus on inspiring with our actions, we create change, ignite passion, and make a difference, often without saying a word. Words can be motivating, but they can also be hollow if they aren't backed by genuine actions. We've all encountered people who make promises but fail to deliver, or individuals who speak about their values but act in ways that contradict those very beliefs. The disconnect between words and actions creates doubt, diminishes trust, and ultimately weakens the impact of what's being said. On the other hand, when actions align with words, there is a sense of integrity and authenticity that others can feel. People are drawn to consistency and truth, and they respond positively to those who lead by example. One of the most powerful ways to inspire others is by being a living example of the values you advocate for. You can talk about kindness, honesty, and hard work, but if your actions don't reflect those principles, your words will carry little weight. People watch what we do far more closely than they listen to what we say. We may not realize it, but we are constantly being observed by others, whether it's in the workplace, at home, or in social settings. When we act with integrity and consistency, we become role models, often inspiring others to adopt the same values. Inspiring with your actions requires you to take ownership of your behavior. It's about making the decision to live authentically and embody the qualities you believe in. This is not always easy, especially when the world around us encourages shortcuts or makes it tempting to compromise our values. However, the true power of inspiring with action lies in the courage to stay true to your principles, even when it's inconvenient or difficult. When you choose to act with integrity, you're not just showing others the way, you're reinforcing your own belief in the importance of those values. When we inspire with our actions, we also create trust and credibility. Trust is built not through promises, but through consistent action. People trust those who demonstrate their commitment through their behavior, not through empty words or good intentions. When you act in a way that aligns with your values, you are reinforcing that trust and showing others that they can rely on you. Trust is an essential element of strong relationships, whether personal or professional, and it is earned through the things we do, not just the things we say. Actions are the currency of trust, and when you inspire with them, you create a foundation of reliability and respect. Another key aspect of inspiring with actions is the impact it can have on others. Sometimes we underestimate the influence we have simply by doing what we believe in. By taking action, we set a positive example that others may choose to follow. When people see someone acting with courage, compassion, or integrity, they may be inspired to do the same. It's the ripple effect of positive behavior. One small act of kindness, for example, can inspire others to be kinder in their own lives. One act of bravery can encourage others to face their fears. Your actions, whether large or small, can create a chain reaction that influences the people around you. However, inspiring with actions doesn't always mean grand gestures. Often, it's the small, everyday actions that have the most profound impact. The way you treat others in everyday situations, the decisions you make when no one is watching, and the values you demonstrate in your daily life speak volumes. Small actions that align with your values can have a lasting effect. For instance, a leader who makes the effort to listen to their team members, a colleague who helps others without expecting anything in return, or a parent who models respect and empathy for their children, are all examples of individuals inspiring with their actions. These seemingly small moments can shape the culture of an organization, a community, or a family. Inspiring with actions also means being accountable for your mistakes. We all make mistakes, and sometimes we fall short of our own expectations. The key, however, is how we handle those mistakes. A person who takes responsibility for their actions, acknowledges their missteps, and works to correct them is demonstrating strength and integrity. When we inspire with our actions, we don't just portray an image of perfection. Instead, we show others that it's okay to make mistakes and that the real measure of character is how we learn, grow, and adapt from those experiences. Moreover, when we inspire with our actions, we create a sense of empowerment in others. When people see that it's possible to act with courage, integrity, and commitment, they are often inspired to do the same. By leading through example, we offer a blueprint for others to follow, showing them that they too have the power to take positive actions in their own lives. The strength of our actions lies not in the recognition or praise we receive, but in the transformation we inspire in others. True inspiration is about empowering others to find their own strength and take action in alignment with their values. In the face of challenges or adversity, inspiring with actions becomes even more powerful. In difficult times, words can feel empty or insufficient, but actions have the ability to make a real difference. It's easy to be motivated when things are going well, but it's in moments of difficulty that true leaders shine. When we face challenges with resilience, grace, and determination, we inspire others to do the same. Our actions in times of hardship can show others that strength and perseverance are possible, even in the toughest of circumstances. This is the kind of inspiration that leaves a lasting legacy. Ultimately, inspiring with your actions means being true to who you are, staying aligned with your values, and living with purpose. It's about showing up every day, not just in words, but in deeds. The more you embody the qualities you want to see in the world, the more others will be inspired to do the same. Inspiration is not something that can be forced or manufactured. It's something that naturally flows from the alignment of thought, word, and deed. When you act with integrity, passion, and purpose, you create a life that inspires others without ever needing to say a word. Through your actions, you have the power to change the world around you, one meaningful step at a time.